Coming with Town Hall 18 in the next Clash of Clans update is a brand new Revenge Tower defense, the Totem Spell, the new crafted defense season, a fancy shop with an all-new currency, and more. I'm gonna be showing you gameplay and explaining all of the important bits. First, let's take a look at the brand new signature defense for Town Hall 18, the Revenge Tower. You'll be able to build one of these and it will cost 430,000 Dark Elixir, and that takes over 13 days. I'm not sure what's up with the extra 5 seconds, but whatever. It will have 2 levels at launch, the second one costing an extra 30k Dark Elixir and taking 14 days. The Revenge Tower is very unique because initially it's not active. If a troop targets it, you'll notice that it does nothing. Instead, it activates according to how many defenses are destroyed in the village. So after 5 buildings destroyed, it will pop up and go into stage 1 where it deals a pretty good amount of damage, but only single target, and it fires slowly. After 20 buildings destroyed, it goes into stage 2. Its attack speed increases, resulting in a higher DPS of course, and its attacks start to bounce to a second target, just like a ricochet cannon. And lastly, after 40 buildings destroyed, it will go into the last stage and attack even faster, and its shots bounce to 3 targets. It's hard to compare the Revenge Tower to anything we currently have because of its variable DPS, but I would say that at its first stage, it's sort of like a very strong archer tower. In its second stage, it's comparable to a ricochet cannon that also targets air. And in its third stage, it reminds me a lot of the multi-gear tower set to fast attack, but dealing way more damage and of course targeting air as well. It is insane how strong the Revenge Tower gets at that stage. As you can see here, it was melting through my dragons, and at that point in the attack, the Eternal Tome had depleted, and so it was game over for anything near that tower. If you end up not taking care of it early on, it will be very dangerous for your army. So it's definitely something you'll want to take care of, whether that's freezing it, making sure troops are under a Eternal Tome, or at least take care of it early in the attack, because even at second stage, it's pretty manageable. It's just like dealing with another ricochet cannon that happens to shoot air. Now let's take a look at the Totem Spell, which we'll be unlocking at Town Hall 16 with that brand new spell tower level. It will launch with 4 levels, the first 2 being available at Town Hall 16, and then going up 1 level at Town Hall 17 and 18. Taking a look at the stats, it takes up 1 housing space and has some interesting stats for a spell, like HP and stun. This is because this Totem Spell basically spawns a decoy into the battlefield that defenses and clan castle troops will get distracted by. Specifically, it's a big tanky totem that can be targeted by both air and ground when deployed. It will briefly stun defenses, forcing them to retarget and get distracted by it. And with 13,000 HP at max level, it is pretty chunky, especially for only 1 housing space. But how well does that work in a real scenario? Well, a pretty popular way to distract defenses is by using something like skeleton spells, right? And so I ended up swapping those for the totem spells, and I think it works way better because of the fact that it retargets defenses in a massive area. It's a 6 tower radius. Before, you had to zap the defenses or use an invisibility spell on the troops in order for it to retarget, but the Totem Spell takes care of all of that. The only downside is that it doesn't last as long. I am attacking a max Town Hall 18, and I have found that the totem is typically destroyed in less than 5 seconds, but I was putting it in high value areas like in front of a monolith or that new Revenge Tower, so it makes sense. The areas the skeleton spell struggles in, the Totem Spell excels in. So I think this is going to be one of the most useful spells, especially how you can use it last minute. You don't need to plan this spell, just drop it wherever defenses are hot and it works like magic. It can really save your troops from being obliterated at times. Before we move on to the next thing, one thing you'll need to know about the Totem Spell is that although it is technically a troop, defenses and clan castles see it as one, it will not activate a rage or a poison spell tower. The Totem Spell is excluded from their activation. Next up, let's take a look at what's coming in the next crafted season, which according to Supercell should start a few days after the update, and this one is scheduled to last 4 months. Firstly, players will be getting a pop-up that explains a new season has started, and Th18 players will lose the crafting station. And any ongoing upgrades will be refunded. But you'll also be given compensation according to your progress. More on that later. The first crafted defense is the Hero Bell, and unlike the previous 3 options we had, this one is not a defense, but more of a buff. The Hero Bell has the ability to buff your defensive heroes' HP and DPS, so to make them stronger on defense, which is 2 out of its modules. The other being just the building HP. The way it works is immediately you'll hear a loud bell sound when you're looking at a base. This means it's active, and notice how no matter where the heroes are, they are already buffed. This is because it has a 50 tile range, basically the entire village and some. However, if the bell is destroyed, the buffs are no more. They are removed. So you'll want to keep that in mind when building your base. But yeah, it's not that complex. Defensive heroes will be stronger. However, you're missing out on a defense that you could build. So you're basically replacing a defense with stronger heroes. The next option is the Light Beam, a single target damage defense that targets air and ground, and it shoots these projectiles that lose power the longer they travel, so troops right in front of it will take 800 damage, and at its farthest, at 15 tiles, it's dealing 240 damage per hit, and of course, this scales depending on how far the troop is when it's moving. The upgrade modules on this one will be building HP, damage per hit, and attack cooldown. It is certainly intriguing, and it reminds me of the Monolith. Of course, totally different damage output, but that variable damage is something you'll need to pay attention to during a battle. It can quickly get ugly. And finally, we have the Bomb Hive, which probably has the most interesting quirks. The Bomb Hive is a defense that shoots bombs, and these can hit air or ground, and you can obviously increase this damage by one of its modules and also its range and the building's HP. At max level, it has a 20 tile range, but the bomb's direction is predetermined, meaning the bombs don't go after troops at all. It just follows that pathing, and if it hits something, cool. And if it doesn't, well, what are you gonna do about it? I also found it very interesting that once it's activated by a troop stepping into one of those paths, it will not stop shooting. It just keeps going the entire match, no matter if a troop is near it or not. With that said, you cannot distract this defense. It will keep deploying those bombs that follow those paths, no matter what's in front of it. If you need to take care of it, I would just stick to stuff like a freeze spell or overgrowth spells if you really need to. Initially, it doesn't seem like that big of a threat, but at 820 damage per hit at max level, it can quickly add up. Alright, let's move on to something that a lot of you are probably more excited to hear about, which is the Fancy Shop. A permanent tab in the shop where you can spend your Sparky Stones. This is a new currency earned by doing supercharge upgrades, which give 10 Sparky Stones each, and by upgrading your crafted defense modules, which award 8 Sparky Stones each. And don't worry, if you've already completed some of these or all of them before the update, when the update finally drops, you will get compensated for according to how much you did. So what can you buy at this fancy shop? Well, builder skins, exclusive home decorations, and a charge effect for your existing decorations. At launch, there will only be this limited selection, but as time goes by, I think we should expect more stuff to appear. So first is the Meteor Builder skin. The builder is now a 3D character, so he can now rock some pretty sweet skins. Literally, because he's a rock. The skin is very much inspired by stuff like the Meteor Golem and the whole theme of Th18. Once you buy the skin, it will be applied to all of your builders, but I am told that in the future you may be able to select which skin goes to which builder. You can see the skin in action when they are upgrading or building something new, and also on defense when they're repairing a building. Actually, there they have a unique animation. As they're fixing said building, you can see like a blue burst of energy being expelled from that defense. It's pretty cool. It's nice to finally see the builders in 3D and getting skins for them. It's been too long, and I think we've all been waiting for this. Then there is the home decoration, the crafted statue, which you can only buy once. Nothing crazy, just a cool little statue to show that you dabble with crafted defenses from time to time. And finally, the charge effect, which is kind of like the supercharge effect, but for any decoration you want. Only one though, so choose wisely. No, I'm kidding. You can buy it as many times as you want. Clicking on it from the shop will show you which decorations you can apply to, but you can also do it from your base as well. There will be a button on every decoration. This effect is permanent, but according to Supercell, they said for now, so maybe you'll be able to remove it one day. Alright, now to wrap up, let's dive into some other changes, like temporary troops are now banned in ranked battles, Clan Wars, and Clan War League. Yes, unfortunately, in Mashup 2026, you will not be able to cheese your way through all the war attacks with Lava Loon. RIP. And finally, there will be some changes to the ranked mode, specifically how it handles promotions and demotions, which I am told will be made a lot more clear in the game. For example, there will be a pop-up if you are at risk of a demotion. There are some other small tidbits here and there, but nothing anyone probably cares about. But what about watching this next video, which for some reason YouTube thinks this is what you want to watch? Is it? I don't know. How about you check it out and let me know on the other side. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!